enforcement or some traffic calming or something, you know?
Yeah, like you said, we can put up all the speed limit signs we
Right.
want, it's still not gonna control the way people drive.
Um,
Everybody wants to,
So where do we go with this?
well, I think we just let the study play out and see what the cost factor is gonna be.
yeah,
before
I
we-
would just let's see what the cost factor is.
All right.
I'm
and
just
then
saying, though, we did get a letter, I
Yep.
wanna make sure if we need to follow up or do something, we do what we're supposed to do.
I'll be more than glad to check on it, and I'll bring it
Thanks,
back to the
Sean,
next board
I
meeting.
appreciate it.
Should we perhaps a second request or something and tell them to reply to the board or the supervisor rather than to the town clerk?
Well, I guess,
I don't know how
I
the
don't
town
know.
clerk was addressed through that whole deal. I couldn't figure it out.
I don't know either, we didn't,
And,
We didn't-
unless I didn't physically see the resolution, so however it was stamped and however, maybe it wasn't on a specific town letterhead, I don't know. So, I don't know how it come addressed to her,
All right,
so I can't answer that question.
I will have to do with the correspondence.
we, last, about 5-6 months ago, we were gonna get, a letter from the justice on, reallocation of our grant money, which we had $30,000 in our account that's not ours, it belongs to the court system still. And, I'm just worried, we're heading almost into 3 years on that, and someone needs to talk to justice and see if we got a response or something, but that's.
Already have.
Okay, can you fill us in?
Well, it's not pretty. I had envisioned moving the town offices out of here and was feeling around in the township where we could go with our offices, make this whole thing into a justice court because of the present $30,000 grant that we will lose. They will not give them any money at all if the town is here for roof renovation, windows, or doors. So the grant would be lost completely. Not being able to move off top dead center with much of anything around here, I backed off. I stopped. What I wanted to do was bring to the board a couple of proposals and see if we could continue to negotiate. But since then, the real estate has hardened up anyway, and those opportunities are gone. And Mr. Dygert informs me that the grant is kind of on its last legs. We will more than likely lose it. If I could move the offices out of here, put them in the storefront somewhere, and renovate this whole place as a justice court, there are all kinds of grants out there. But to renovate an office building for a township, I can't find anything. So I was gonna try to do that, but it's getting too far along. And the other thing that goes on here too is the old Beech Nut building. The county wants to conquer the court system and show us a consolidated court. And after discussing it with the justice, him and I are on the same page, and I would like to bring the board up to date when the time comes. I suppose now is as good a time as any to introduce it. I don't want to lose our local court. To me, our local court is a very, very important service for our taxpayers. You realize you can hand our justice, what is it, $12 or $15, and he can serve a summons on somebody. County court costs you about $10,000. If we let them consolidate the court systems and the county or state take it over, which they're trying to do now, we will lose a very important service. Montgomery County wanting to put the court system into the Beech Nut building, which looks like they might get their way. Mr. Dygert is talking quite a bit with the county court system people, and he's led me to believe that it looks like we might be able to retain our court and occupy some of their premises.
Of course.
But I don't want to be the first one to play that game. All right, if you're the first one in and the roof leaks and there's no electric or anything for 6 months, I don't like that. I would like to kind of take a back seat or wait until things have matured a little bit. So this whole thing with trying to renovate this building is kind of up in the air. In the meantime, the clock is ticking on that $30,000 deal. And I'm not able to bring it to pass. So that's where we are. If somebody has a different idea on where to go to try to preserve that $30,000 grant, I'm all ears.
When you say storefronts, what, like as in, like the old ones down here, the Price Chopper?
Yeah, the one right next to the Price Chopper there, there's two of them in there. One is a little large and the other one is big enough we could put our offices in there and have room to unload that dumpster out back there.
Oh,
And,
the record room?
yeah, you could have 2-3 kids on a summer job and,
Didn't we
the
look into
state
that once?
has
And they wanted a
guidance.
fortune?
They will guide you through document preservation, which ones can be preserved on paper, what ones can be made, done electronically, and at what age they can disappear. We can do that super cheap, but we have to have inside space to do it. Move the offices out of here, we could even put all that junk here. And there's stuff there that you can never get rid of, some of the health department stuff.
Right,
It
there's,
just
some of
has
it's
to
gotta
be
be
preserved.
forever
And
paper records.
some of the court records, you can go back 15 years on some of this child protection stuff, and it has to be the paper, you can't even make it
Can't
electronic
do it, did you?
records.
Okay.
So, it's complicated, but with a checklist and, somebody supervising 2-3 kids, we could have that conquered in a couple weeks. But it
So what-
requires inside space.
Right. What's,
Didn't we look into the storefront business and found out that it would cost a fortune?
Several times.
Well, have you looked into,
I talked to them, all right?
didn't you? Yeah,
Well,
but-
yeah, they told me $4,000, I laughed at them. You know, that's not a problem, but I don't have the authority to negotiate. I wanted to offer them $1,500, but I can't do that without getting to the board, and I can't do that until we discuss the housing business. I can't do it. So here we sat. I just can't bring all that stuff to the board now.
It still, if you had the court in this building, it still does not give you the right amount of parking.
I
Now,
want to renovate this as a courthouse, okay? And then I want to throw the court out of here and put the offices in, just so I can get the grants, all right? But I can't even start down that path. It's a little complicated and it requires some coordination and step-by-step.
It also
deal.
requires permits to be able to do anything with this building, because I inquired about that once. We're not free to do whatever we wanna, because we're a town government.
Even putting in cameras, you know, I can put a game camera up at my house real cheap.
Yeah.
I called 2 vendors about putting cameras in here, and boy, did I get read the riot act. It costs money. That's why I went down the road I went down. All right. What else you got there, Chris?
Nope, that's all business, that's good.
All right. You had another item on your list that I had to put on the agenda, and that was money for the planning board.
Yep,
You
that
want
would
to
be
talk
under-
about that, or you
Well,
want to
that's under
wait?
new business, we should take care of
Okay.
your old business first, and I do have a resolution for the planning board one.
There is money in the budget already for planning board. $3,500,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's what I looked at under their contractual.
I was told I got to put $5,000 in there.
They were looking for 5,000 for the first half of the survey, but if they can spend up to 3,500, then we have to go and reallocate, that's all. And the county's helping assist them too, which is a really big deal, because we're gonna get, online surveys via MailChimp and a number of other things. Were you at the last couple of comprehensive plan meetings?
Do you want to talk more about this before a resolution?
Well, no, she asked me a question, I answered. Go ahead, you have the
Well,
floor.
I'll talk about it a little more. It's April. I took office in January. I tried to contact the planning board between January and now, numerous times. I won't give all the details, I'll just say that I tried numerous times and was unable to contact the planning board. Then we had a subdivision come up that a friend of mine was after. Called me on the phone one night, he said, this is gonna cost me $5,000. The planning board canceled their meeting, and they're not having another one until after the 1st of the month, and I'm gonna lose my ag exemption. Now, whether he was right or wrong, I don't know, but I had to tell him, okay, I'll get back to you tomorrow or the day after. The planning board does not respond to me. Okay? That's what I told them, and then 2 days later, I told them the same thing again. Nobody on the planning board seems to want to talk to me. And then Monday, I'm passing out my agenda for this meeting, and a member of the planning board wanted to talk to me. I thought, wow, this is an improvement. And I told that member of the planning board that I am 100% behind the planning board and a master plan. I have some things I want to do in the town to try to lift the assessed value. I want to see some development work done in some of our commercial areas, and we can't do it without a master plan. That planning board is important. Why I wasn't able to contact them until Monday is a mystery, when some of them were showing up at this meeting. And still, I don't get a report, I don't hear from them. Now, Sunday, Chris brings me a piece of paper and says, put this stuff on the agenda this month. I looked right at him and told him no. As far as I'm concerned, the planning board has no reason to contact me or this board. Then I don't see how I can advance any money or do anything. And you know, there's not one word about what they want the money for or anything like that. All of a sudden, here's a request for $5,000 to a bunch of people that won't talk to me. I had a problem with that. I still have a problem with that. That planning board should be cooperating and working with this board. You know, if they don't like me, that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. And I also told that member of the planning board that I will not take any information from Mr. Novak. My experience in that corner has not been too pleasant. So, if the planning board wants to give us a report, which tonight we got a report, right? Amazing, they want some money. And this is the only entity in this town that can spend money. This is it. All right? Now, before I personally will vote for a resolution to give the planning board any money, I want to hear what it's going for. I want something in writing. And I will bring the resolution to the table. As Mr. Novak said, he can bring a resolution to the table. Just know full well I'll be voting against it. All right? When we get a report from the planning board saying what they want the money for, and you know, I would appreciate being able to meet with them, so maybe we can help them along.
Actually.
In the interim, I'm not done
Oh,
yet.
you're not done? Please.
In the interim, I asked this person who was on the planning board if they felt Mrs. Spencer was an asset to the planning board. And she told me that she is able to put aside all political problems in her life when she's sitting at the planning board. I got thinking about that. You know, if she's putting aside all these, I don't know what, at a planning board, must be there's stuff going on when she's not at the planning board that I should be aware of. What I am aware of there, her term ends December 31st, 2018. And as of now, my vote doesn't go for any renewal there.
What the hell does this have to do with anything?
This is a town meeting, speak up.
I said, sir, what the hell does this have to do with anything? You're introducing,
This has a lot to do
you're
with it.
introducing ad hominems, personal attacks, hectoring.
Yes.
You're addressing the home of a board member as being someplace that people wouldn't want to visit. And now you're prejudicing the actions that you should be taking as a objective individual, an elected official regarding town business because you have a personal feeling about somebody without giving them any defense. I am speaking. So you, through your body language, through your opinions, you're the most unprofessional elected official I have seen from a congressional level down to a town or a county.
That's me.
And your personal opinion should be kept outside of town business. And when I am done, since I have the floor, then you can speak. But we will not get into a dialectic. Thank you.
You got it.
Oh my God.
Okay, shall we move on?
I'd like to
Please
respond
do.
to what you said, because she made some statements, and since you opened up about talking about the planning board. I believe that if Betty, who has missed the last 6 comprehensive plan meetings, or maybe 7, would have filled you, and she is our liaison for the county planning board and for the comprehensive committee. She volunteered to be on that, and she hasn't briefed you, and that would be the conduit. But because Betty has not attended these meetings for some time now,
Oh, now we're gonna
Okay.
blame Betty.
I'm still speaking, and I'm stating fact. If I'm saying something wrong, Betty, please counter about the number of meetings. I've gone to these meetings. By the way, if you had gone to one of the planning board meetings, you would know that we probably have the most qualified group of individuals that we could possibly get in this town to sit on the planning board right now. Okay, we have talent that far exceeds anything that I have seen in a town our size. We have a man who was a planner for Cornell University, who is a civil engineer and probably one of the most foremost authorities on urban planning.
Is this yours or mine?
Okay, we
It is
have,
mine.
Mine.
we have a grant writer
That's
who
mine.
has successfully netted millions of dollars worth of grants on that board. We have someone who has done work for the Department of Defense, NASA, and the Department of Transportation on a regular basis. We have a lifelong farmer on that board that understands the needs of agriculture, and that is a liaison. And we have a young gentleman who comes from a long line of excellent public service, who's leading as chairman, and has taken that to the yeoman's post that the number of professionalism for his young age is amazing. For you to sit here and malign them because they didn't contact you, I feel is reprehensible.
Oh,
Okay, and I feel that speech that you just gave is these are volunteers that have donated months and months of hours of training of their in the past several years to be on the board, and for you to just with a swat just put them aside is you owe them a large apology at this moment.
don't worry about it, Bill. Just go on, Bill. Forget about it. Just go on, please. This is all we hear.
I'd like to get this
Woe
meeting
is
over.
me.
Okay.
It's
We'll
sickening.
do that.
Come on, just go on with the business.
Let's not go back to 2016, please.
Yes, agreed.
Whereas the public has the right to attend regular town board meetings and listen to town board deliberations, the public does not have the right to speak except as provided by rules created and adopted by the town board. Be it hereby resolved to amend local meeting procedures to delete the public comment portion from all future board meetings until the board promulgates new rules for public comment.
Move to
I
table.
make the motion.
Move to table.
Second, to table.
So,
Okay, any discussion on tabling it?
I believe we can adopt these rules in a work session with the public, not commenting at all, and then we can bring this out next month or the month after, and everyone would be satisfied without the public losing their right to
just take a
comment.
vote. Take a vote.
Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Okay, it's back on the table. I made the resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no.
No, may I request a roll call, please?
She's putting it down.
All right, Betty,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Chris,
No.
One very open thing.
Oh, I know.
That destroyed any thought of democracy. Democracy just died. A quick comment, Mr. Supervisor,
Yes.
the date, what is it, April 28th? democracy just died, and fascism just raised its ugly head
Oh,
tonight at the town of Palatine.
Good, please.
Okay.
And make sure that's in the minutes.
I didn't hear what
Right
you
over
said.
here.
Well, I'll repeat it. April 28th, 2018. Town meeting, town of Palatine. Democracy just died, and fascism reared its ugly head once again.
No, Paul, you were put in your place. That's what happened today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This stuff will be done.
Whereas an oath of office is a statutory requirement that all appointed officials on the ethics board have failed to complete within 30 days of appointment or office commitment, be it hereby resolved that all prior appointments to the ethics board be declared null and void. The positions are open. I make that a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I was trying to think through whether or not an oath of office was necessary for subcommittees of this board, in other words, planning board, ethics board, what have you. And I'm not sure that is a requirement. I'm asking, actually, because I don't know. You know, Linda?
As far as I know, any appointed official in this town, anybody that is appointed, needs to take an oath of office.
But did we do that for any other committee at any time?
Every other committee, everybody else has had an oath of office. Every committee, all the planning board, the zoning board,
Okay.
everybody.
It was a question.
The building committee? I don't think so.
Again, can I ask the question? Why on the appointments of the now, I guess defunct or whatever, like board, why were the oaths of office administered at the appointment time?
I wasn't here.
Is that the town clerk's job?
I wasn't here.
Well, you should have the answers.
It was Sarah's. It was
You
Sarah's
had the answers
fault.
all night.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Ethnicity. She did.
Certainly. I'll try to answer it.
Why is it you failed to take an oath of office and your wife was required to take an oath of office?
That, I cannot answer the question.
No,
My point is,
Yeah.
when did you administer, being my wife's name, been brought up a number of times tonight, when did you administer her oath?
Whenever everybody was appointed, they came in to my office and took an oath of office.
Were they notified?
Nope, they came in on their own.
It's up to the public
When they were
official, as I
appointed, they all
understand
came
it.
in on their
In
own.
the town manual, it does not indicate that the ethics board has to be, has an oath of office.
Why would
The other one
ethics-
is, let me finish. In the town manual, it also states, if the person refuses to take the oath, he shall not fill the position. If you're not asked to take the oath, it's not a refusal. I certainly would never refuse.
Does it also say
You
that
got
the
the same
planning board
situation.
doesn't?
It's not only Paul Spencer's being involved in this one. You've got other people involved in this situation.
Does it say in that town law manual that the planning board doesn't have to take a vote
I
of
didn't
office
read that
either?
one. I only read what I was concerned with.
Well, if everybody else has to have one, why wouldn't the
I
ethics
don't know.
board have
Read
to
the
have
town
one?
manual.
I would think if you're on the ethics board, that's more important than subdividing a piece of land on the planning board.
Well, that's to be an opinion as well.
Well, that's my
We're
opinion.
not
It says it
gonna-
right here.
We're not into that. My point is, why weren't we somehow notified or were we aware of, and I say we, because it's not just me.
I know it's not just you.
Here, ask Sarah.
So no, it's not a Sarah's business.
Yes, it
It's the town
is. She
clerk.
should have done it. She was
Well, why don't you
responsible.
just say the town clerk screwed up again like you're always
No, I
doing?
didn't say that. But you're putting words into my mouth, Linda. Like you like to
Every
do.
time something doesn't go right, it's the town clerk's responsibility, it's the town clerk's fault.
Yeah.
Nobody
Or
else,
Betty.
I didn't tell anybody
Or
else
Betty.
to come in and do it, everybody else came in on their own.
Okay, so we're guilty as charged.
Linda's fault.
Any more discussion?
Yes, I have some discussion.
Oh, of course.
Just gonna read this. New York State Office of the Attorney General, Public Integrity Bureau. It appears that the town of Palatine oath of office was withheld from specific members duly appointed by the town board. These appointees and most members of the board were unaware of the requirement of this requirement, and that the appointees were allowed to serve for a period of over 2 years. Additionally, these appointees performed official business for the town and drafted and adopted an ethics reform local law. I would ask for the help for you to find the effects that are from this. I'm sub-phrasing now in my own words after the first paragraph. This could be considered a case of obstruction under New York state law. I ask that you investigate and depose all individuals in this matter. If we pass this, instead of just simply ending their terms, that will go to the Attorney General.
Bully, bully, bully. That's all you do, Chris Novak.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the first sentence, okay? Let's be a little orderly. You
Instead
said
of you
the
interfering.
oath was withheld. Did you maybe lead somebody into writing on a piece of paper what you wanted to hear? Nobody withheld the oath of office. Did you tell him he couldn't take that oath of office?
You know, I'm only human. If I fail to say something or do something, there should be somebody else that's out there that can make sure I do it.
Let me be clear. All I want
Please.
is to change the resolution that we remove the current ethics board.
The resolution is on the table. Is there any other discussion?
Okay, so you refuse to change the word.
Correct.
Okay, being no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
May I have a roll call vote on that, please?
Betty?
Yeah.
John?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Chris?
No.
Hank?
No.
Thank you.